You're listening to K-Poppin' every day 12 to 2 p.m. The fastest K-pop news with DJ Isak.
Ugly Truth. It's time for Ugly Truth, and we have Sooyoon of Royal Paris in the studio looking like a gentleman today.
I am a gentleman today.
You look very nice.
Thank you.
Going somewhere?
No, just to practice after. Just to see those two guys again.
Just to see you two guys that you see every single day yet again. You look really nice today. You look like you might be going out on a date.
Oh no, actually this is what I wore like yesterday night, and I was like a snake. Just took it off and then took it back on today. Yeah.
There are those days. There are those days. There are those days that happens.
Yeah.
I would like to have a lot of small talk today, but I looked at a few of our stories.
Yeah.
They're kind of heavy. So I feel that we should talk as much about...
Some serious problems?
Yeah, some serious problems today. It's just... I'm not saying that all of our stories are not serious enough. I'm just saying that some of them, when it comes to relationships or whatnot, we don't have to take them that deeply.
Yeah.
But there are a few today that I feel would weigh very hard on somebody's heart, more than some of the other ones. So, first story, I think it's something that any Asian family can relate to. So let's read the first story.
All right, it's from Mimi from Malaysia. I don't know how to explain, but I have some problems. I think I'm attached to the family too much, that they depend on me the most. And I really want to continue my study abroad, but I canceled my plans for the past 2 years because my mom won't let me go unless I get married, which I don't have any plans for. However, when I think again, if I get married, I don't think I can even leave my house because I don't think my sisters can take care of my parents like I do. Even if I leave the house, I think it's like abandoning my responsibility to my parents. And I hate to see my parents having a hard time managing the house and working at the same time. But I do want to go out from the house, study abroad, and live abroad. How about you guys? What does it feel to be far from home? And should I leave, or should I wait till the day I get married and just take my parents with me?
So team A is leave the house to broader pastures. Or B, stay with the family and continue to support them. Sooyoon, how does it feel to live away from your parents?
Well, personally, I have to leave far from my parents. I'm the type of person who have to live,
Oh, so you have
away
to.
from the parents.
So you need your space from your parents.
Yeah, I do. But I'm wondering how old she is, first of all. But I'm guessing if she's old enough to support her family, I guess financially, and, just to, just get things going on in the house. I think she's old enough, maybe, around over 20 at least.
Okay.
Yeah. In that case, I think I would choose A.
Okay.
Yeah.
A.
Yeah. But I think there always needs to be balance. When I used to be in high school, up until high school, I think I lived most part of my life for my parents, just doing what they want me to do, just make them happy. That's why I went to, college, not doing music. I did something else. And then after I got into college, I figured out that, I need to start living for myself, do what I want to do. And I completely abandoned my parents, what they say, and I thought I would be happy doing that, doing what I want to do. And I wasn't so much happy about it because some people that I loved weren't happy, which was my parents and my family. And that bothered me too much that I wasn't happy for
Okay.
that. So I think there needs to be a balance. So when I came to Korea and I was away from my parents, I think that time kind of helped us each other to kind of miss each other more, and that kind of made us try to understand each other more.
Okay.
And when we finally met, I think we talked more, and we kind of figured out a balance between that. So once in a while I'll visit, and because it's once in a while, it's like more precious that time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just like you said, when you first get out of the house, it's like, hallelujah, don't
Yeah.
talk to me, don't touch me.
Yeah.
But after a while, I mean, there's those times where you do realize how much you need your family.
Right.
I feel in this situation, Mimi is, in my opinion, I think this is habit. Now, the reason why I say this is speaking from personal experience. I'm an only child, so I don't have siblings. I don't have the courtesy, or I don't have that mentality of thinking that far in any type of relationship. Me is me.
Yeah,
I'm an
yeah.
only child. I'm
Yeah,
selfish.
yeah.
So I don't really think about that. But my mom's side of the family,
Yeah.
my grandma, including my mom, had 7 girls and 1 boy.
Wow.
So I have 6 aunts and 1 uncle on my mom's side. And seeing their relationship between my mom and my aunts and everybody, everybody has their natural role. The oldest, my mom's third in line. So the oldest aunt who lives in Korea, she has her way of things. The second aunt, she has like the responsibility. She feels like she's in charge of my grandma. My mom, she's the one that's always been financially stable. So everybody kind of looks to her for finances. The aunt that's underneath me, she's the best cook. She's like the homey person. Everybody goes to her place. Like everybody has their own role. But I feel that role ended up happening because of habit.
Right.
They just started doing that. And so that's why they feel like, oh, I'm the only one that can do this. So I feel that Mimi right now, like you're saying, that I don't even think I'm going to be able to move out of the house, even if I do get married, because I don't trust my siblings to take care of my parents.
Right.
Like I said, this is habit. You're not used to letting somebody pick up what you
Yeah.
have to do.
Yeah.
You feel obligated to do something. It's like moms. It's like Sooyoon is never going to do the dishes or wash his clothes as clean as his mom thinks it needs to be.
Yeah.
That's just natural.
Yeah.
That's his, it's his mom. His dad, if like Sooyoon's dad is really into fixing things, Sooyoon is never going to be able to fix something to his liking.
Yeah.
Because that's like his thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in families, I feel that everybody has that role
That's
that
true.
they take on.
Right.
And right now, Mimi, I feel that for you, you're afraid to let that go.
Yeah.
Those responsibilities may stress you out, but I feel that you enjoy those responsibilities as well.
Yeah.
My opinion, leave the nest.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is time for you to leave and say goodbye. I personally fear living with my family again. Personally.
Me too.
I don't think I can put up with my family
Yeah, I
anymore.
don't think I could either. Yeah.
I think,
I like it now,
Exactly.
I miss them all the time.
Me
I call
too.
them, but if I start living with them again, I don't think I'm gonna miss them, I'm gonna take them for granted.
I feel that that's gonna happen. I have a huge family, like I said, 6 aunts and 1 uncle. That means that I have that much more cousins, and we all live in like the same neighborhood. So
That's awesome.
it is, but also there's responsibilities. As soon as I go back to the States, it's going to be, Isak, go pick up your cousin. Isak, so-and-so needs to go to the hospital. Go translate. I need to go to DMV. Drop me off. Go translate.
Oh, that's like every person living in LA who are
Typical
bilingual.
Asian family.
Yeah.
Typical Asian family. And the only reason is because our family members have moved to the country at a later age, and so they can speak perfect English, but they're just afraid to do so. So what happens is I do translate.
It reminds me of just one thing. It's just a random thing, but out of the subject. But when I first moved to States, like after like 3 years, I was still learning English, and my dad was just like driving me somewhere, and he's like, so Sooyoon, like, how's your English these days? I'm like, oh, I'm just studying. And he's like, like there's street names, like Roland Heights.
Yeah.
It's like, Sooyoon, what does that mean? Like, what's the meaning
How do you
of the,
say it? You're like,
no, what's the meaning of the Roland Heights? I'm like, I don't know. It's a street name. He's like, you need to study more. What? I don't know what street name means, It's like, what are you talking about?
I still don't know what that street name
Yeah,
means.
you know what I mean? And they're just like, you need to study more.
Yeah, study more.
Gosh.
Yeah, so that's what happens with families.
Yeah, right.
You love them and you love them even more. And
That's why I had to, get out of my house. Because I couldn't study all the street names in LA,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Team A or Team B for Mimi from Malaysia. I know that it's scary. I feel that Mimi right now, the nest that she has created, taking care of her family, taking care of her sisters, that has become a nest in you, in your mentality.
Right.
And you really love being in the upper hand. But if you go into the big world, then you're going to be having no status at all. You have to start over again. Where in this situation, she has the upper hand. So I know that it is uncomfortable. It's very scary at the same time. But yeah, I feel that it is time for you to move on. Do you need to get married and move on? No. Do not get married because your parents tell you.
Yeah.
Soon, don't your parents slowly but surely push the marriage envelope with you now?
Not with me because I have an older brother.
Oh, you have an older brother.
5 years older, so he's getting the push.
He's getting the pressure. He's getting the pressure. Soon that pressure is going to go to you.
Gosh.
Soon that pressure is going to go to you.
I hope not, but
I have 2 older cousins that are a lot older than me. They still haven't gotten married, but still the pressure somehow finds its way to me now. I guess my family has given up on them.
I see.
So the remaining pressure is coming to me and my other cousin who's a year younger than me. So like I said, the pressure is going to come to you soon. But don't get married because your family tells you to.
Yeah, and I think if you get married, it may be harder for you to move out because you're gonna have more stuff to care about, and you're just gonna be so busy.
Yeah. Mara's giving some advice about translating. I used to translate for my mom since I was like 6 years old. Now that I live away from home, my mom, who's been living in the States for like 35 years now, has my younger sisters translate for her. Oh, parents. No, but it's true though. And it's not because our parents don't speak the language.
Yeah.
They're very good at it. It's just I feel like they're afraid they're going to make a mistake and that embarrassment just kind of holds them back. So yeah. Anyways, Mimi, Team A, Team B for our listeners. How do you think she should react? Should she literally leave the nest? She needs to move on now. Or should she be, if she says that she feels comfortable, continue to stay at home. Our next story is actually quite cute and I can't wait to jump into it. But in the meantime, we have Gangnam's recent track, What Should I Do? 어떡하죠?
가슴이 아파서
So we're moving on to our next story, and I think that it's going to be all mushy and cute, but I still can't wait to read it. So let's look at our second story for today.
All right, it's from Sooyoon from Thailand. Hello, DJ Isak and Sooyoon. When I was 10 years old, now I'm 23, I fell in love with P. We used to study in the same classroom, and my seat was always beside P. And we belonged in the same group. Next year, P moved to another city and we didn't keep in touch. Until now I got his telephone number in my phone. I don't know how to start talking with P, but I didn't tell anybody. Or I haven't been speaking with anybody from the past. I just want to make good memory in a day and someday I'll tell it. What do you think I should do? I'm worried he might think that I'm a stalker.
Puppy love. So you fell in love with this dude when you were 10. And it's 13 years later, and you still think he's cute. Aww. Aww.
Oh gosh.
Well, at least you found his number.
Yeah.
I found some guys that I used to think was quote cute at school
Yeah.
on SNS.
Yeah.
They're like all married now and they have kids. But I see their pictures. I'm just like,
Right.
why did I like him? No, it's because it's not that they're not cute or good looking.
Yeah.
My ideal type of
Yeah,
guys
just
has
changed.
completely changed.
Right.
So I look at them now, I'm just like, how did I like him back then? I don't like double eyelids. So how was any of the guys on
Yeah.
on my social network
Yeah.
guys that I thought were interesting?
Yeah.
Because they are not Asian. I only like Asian guys now.
Yeah.
So yeah. Surat, I mean, I think that you think still thinking that he's cute is a plus. Well, I mean, they're still at an age to be cute. I think.
Yeah.
Once he gets like 26, 27, 30 something, he's going to start changing, I think. What to do with the first puppy love?
But I don't think P would think that she's like a stalker, because since it was like a thing from 10 years old, I moved to States when I was 10, so I had a crush on this girl when I was like 9.
Yeah.
And then I moved to States, and after just like the story, after 10 years, I came back to Korea. I was like, oh, maybe I should
Contact her.
yeah, contact her. So I searched the SNS. I actually found her, but I was like, but then I was reading some posts like a stalker. I was reading some posts on her SNS or Facebook, and I was just like, she's so different,
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, obviously.
I'm like super American, and just culturally so I talked to her, I messaged her on Facebook. I was like, oh, so how are you? How have you been, right? And we chatted on the thing for a couple minutes, and I was just like, oh, she's not the person that I
used to think.
yeah, used to think. So I was like, never mind. So I just didn't meet her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually got disappointed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that we've talked about this in the past too. When it comes to first loves,
Yeah.
I think they should just remain first loves.
Yeah.
Because you lose that cute, those good memories.
Yeah, good memories.
You lose those good memories.
Yeah. The fantasy just
Yeah.
kind of breaks.
You come back to reality.
Yeah.
So it's not that 11, 12, 13-year-old that you saw back then when you were 10
Yeah.
that was also cool, wore really cool clothes, was
Yeah.
very good looking at the time.
Yeah.
Just seems so olderly or just more mature at the time. I feel that once you get to know them, you're going to lose a lot of that nice fuzzy feelings.
Yeah.
But at least Sooyoon, approached her.
Yeah.
So, it's out of his system. You know what I mean? He's never
Yeah.
going to leave this until his dying day. Man, I should have talked to her.
Yeah.
Should have talked to her. He got her out of his system. He messaged her. They
Yeah.
talked. He just realized she's a different person.
Yeah.
I'm a different person.
Yeah.
So I'd say if you have SNS access, maybe,
She has his phone number.
yeah.
Maybe she can text him.
Yeah, text or call,
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, this is so and so.
Yeah.
You probably don't remember me, but we went to school together.
Yeah.
I got your number from a mutual friend,
Yeah.
and if it's too awkward to meet together, if there's more friends
Oh,
that
yeah.
you guys went to school with,
Yeah, that's cool.
have just a class meeting,
Yeah.
just a class get together. We used to hang out. Let's see how everybody's
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. I'm sure that he wouldn't think you're a stalker, because usually people, especially after college, or even if in your age, you're 23, 24. I think people miss those kind of friends from the back in the days, because after 20s, after early 20s, it's kind of hard to meet that kind of friendship. So I think personally, when I when I got a call from like a friend from junior high, I was like I was so happy to hear his voice, Yeah. So I'm sure P would think the same too.
Oh yeah.
So
don't
worry about that.
Me as well. When it comes to older friends like that I used to know in like elementary school and junior high, thanks to SNS and like social media and whatnot, keeping in touch with them. I don't talk to them every single day, but just being able to keep tabs on them by having them post baby pictures of their newborns, wedding pictures, just seeing them grow as individuals, even though I'm not there, you still get a chance to interact with them, congratulate them on stuff. And even though you become different people, you can, bond over those memories.
Yeah. I mean, even for that, the person that I talked about, even though I was disappointed, I was still like, oh, it was so like good to see how she was doing,
It's more disdisappointing as like a love interest because you had a crush on her.
Yeah, right.
But as friends, it's fine.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, it's so nice to see like what person she became, what she's doing. It's just like so 신기해. It's like wow,
So it's cool.
So cool,
It's like you're watching a movie.
Yeah, it's watching a movie.
Yeah, it's like you're watching a movie. It's like, whoa, you used to be this tall.
Right.
Mara is saying, oh, that's so cute. I took a look back at all the guys I liked as a kid and I was wondering like, what if, but mostly just for nostalgia. I mean, if you are both single and both are interested, I mean, maybe give it a try. You never know. He might be the love of your life.
Right.
That would, I think, be like a love story out of a book. Alyssa is saying, I think about my first boyfriend and wondered what he looks like right now. See? Even mamas think that as well. Madison says, I have a crush on my friend Ethan. He's from Korea and we were in the same class together when I was in junior high school and he was in 10th grade. And I told him I liked him and he said that the same thing, but he just wanted to be friends. So he liked her, but just wanted to be friends.
Yeah.
And we still are. And, we're still both 19 years old. So, okay. I feel that you can still say friends, even though you make, your confessions and whatnot. So it looks like a lot of our listeners have been there and done that. So go for it. More. Michelle is saying, Go for it. Take a chance. Talk to him and catch up. See if you guys still get along. I hadn't seen a friend in 6 years. Talked and realized we could never get along again. See? That could happen.
Yeah, I mean, things change so much in a couple of years when you're, younger.
Oh, yeah. Ben, I had this huge crush on this girl back in junior high, and I wondered what happened to her. Then I was over my ex's house, and I was just looking at her family pictures and just killing time. I saw a girl in one of the pictures that looked super familiar, and said, hey, what was your sister-in-law's name? And come to find out, my crush was married to my ex's brother. Such a small world.
Wow.
Well, Ben, that is a small world.
That's crazy.
Whoa. Well, at least you recognized her.
Yeah.
That's totally cool.
That's pretty weird.
Speaking of old crushes.
Yeah.
There was a guy that had a crush on me in 5th grade. Since we're talking about like 10 years old, like junior high stuff. Thanks to SNS, I got a hold of him. But all of his posts we know how people log in, like they tag themselves in a certain place.
Yeah.
He was tagging himself in Korea. This is a completely Caucasian guy. That the only thing about Korea he knew was probably me, and I was half.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really tapping into my roots at the time in 5th grade.
Yeah.
So I was like, what?
Yeah,
He's in Korea. So I messaged him.
Uh-huh.
I was like, are you in Korea? He's like, oh, hi. Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing in Korea? He's like, I'm teaching. I'm just like, how did you know about Korea?
Yeah.
He's like, no, my fiance and myself are teaching in Korea right now. They were teaching in the Sooyoon area.
Wow.
Such a small world. I haven't seen him since 5th grade.
Wow.
And, I was like, so anyway, like, congratulations, when's the date? Da da da. Like, we were talking. It's like, yeah, if you guys ever come to Seoul, let's meet up. I can even drive down to Sooyoon. It doesn't matter. He's like, yeah. He's like, but, I think we should hold back on meeting up. I'm just like, why? He's just like, it's going to be kind of awkward introducing you to my current fiance as my old crush. I'm just like, you don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. You can just say that we used to go to school together. Why do you have to bring the fact up that I used to be your crush? What is this? But it was really cool to find out that he was in Korea. He's now married and has a kid.
Wow.
But it's just, just keeping up with your friends,
Yeah.
just getting to know how they are. I think going for it would be one of the biggest things to do.
I had a friend from junior high, just a guy, and we weren't that close back then. And then we always like kind of gathered up together with all our friends, but we weren't really that close. And then like after like 6 years, after I came to Korea, he came to Korea.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, let's meet up. So we met up like one-on-one for the first time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like since like forever.
Yeah, we knew each other for, a couple of years, but it was the first time that we ever, met together, like just one-on-one. And I thought it would be super awkward, but it was actually pretty fun and very like, friendly, like, because just the fact that he was my friend from the back in the days.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because he knew you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely go for it. Try to, make the first move. Just say hi.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, do you remember me? Hopefully he does.
Yeah.
And then you guys can just hit it off. If you met up with him and it's awkward, then forget about it.
Yeah.
At least you met up with him and you got it out of your
But
system.
it's so easy to, start the conversation.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
like, you remember that school? Or remember, that teacher, blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah. Start talking about teachers you hated. That's like that's the best way to go.
Right.
Start talking about teachers or like popular people you hated in school. Go for it.
Yeah.
That will be the best icebreaker in the world. So going back to our first story for today, Mimi from Malaysia seems to be some of the older sibling, I'm guessing, in the family, pretty much supporting the family at the moment. Wants to go study abroad, but kind of feels like if they leave, no one's going to be able to take care of the family. So should they move out, which is Team A, or Team B, stay with the parents. If you really aren't ready to move on, just stick with the parents and see how far you go. Our last story for today is something we need to kind of talk a little bit in depth with. But in the meantime, let's go for something really sweet and cute. FX's 첫사랑이란 펌펌펌. With that, we're back. We've got a story from the USA. Not a very giddy story, but something that should be talked about.
Right.
So let's move on for Sage's story.
One in 10 Americans suffer from depression. 80% of people showing symptoms of depression are not receiving any specific treatments for their depression. I'm part of that 1 in 10 and a part of the 80%. I've been dealing with depression for 6 years now without the help of medicine or professional help. For a few months now, it's been worsening. I've been getting weaker. I know this is a very serious topic, but I really need help. I did tell people, and I told my family and they laughed, thinking I was joking. I told my friends and they told me I'm just being selfish. What people don't know is that the fact that my family is the cause of my depression. I am one of those people that I don't know what giving up is, but I can't keep taking all of the pain. I don't know what to do. I'm open to any ideas.
Yes, it is a very serious topic, but
Yeah.
I feel that thanks to the media, this particular topic is talked about too lightly. It's like if somebody is just having a bad day,
Yeah.
then the media is like, oh, they're depressed. Which I feel is something that should not be overly used. It's like everybody's saying, oh, I'm suffering from, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel that's why people are taking this so lightly, which is something that is not to take lightly at all. Sooyoon, have you ever maybe had this or had friends that maybe had some patches that showed this?
I actually did suffer from, like serious depression when I was, I think, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was in college.
Okay.
Yeah, because, our fans probably knows, but my I had a group of friends, and they got in a car accident and they kind of passed away all together. Two of my best friends and actually Moo's actual older brother. And after that, I suffered from depression for maybe like 2 years. Yeah. And, I was legal to drink back then. So I, drank and smoked and, just, hung out with all the friends that I had back then. And, the worst part is that, I think you lost, your kind of reason to kind of live, I guess, because you lost your loved ones and you don't know, like, there's no purpose in life. And I think finding that is the first step. Why am I here? Why am I living? And what do I want to do? And back then, losing a purpose is basically you don't want to. There's no reason to live,
Yeah.
So I was just like, tomorrow I might get in a car accident too.
Yeah. So what's the point?
Yeah. What's the point of living? Like why try hard? And I was just like, just living my day, like day by day. It's just like wasting a day, and tomorrow I'm wasting another day, and YOLO, like,
exactly.
You only live once, whatever,
Whatever.
whatever. I don't care if I die tomorrow, and that was my mentality. I don't care if I die today. And so the funny thing was that I went to ride the roller coasters when I was in depression, and then it wasn't scary because my mentality was like,
yeah, it's like whatever.
If this like goes wrong and I have to die, like I don't care, And after a couple of years, like after I was like done with the depression, I went again, and I was so scared, like I don't want to die.
Yeah, your mentality changes.
Right? Yeah.
It does. Do you remember? Was there anything that kind of popped you out of it? Was there one particular day, maybe a movie you saw, or?
I don't think it was a one particular thing, but it's just like a small. It's all like small thinking that builds up to So every day, if you think, oh, I don't care, I don't care about my life, if you think that, it's gonna grow in you.
You made a really good point.
Yeah.
So I did some research because depression is something that, like you said, it kind of comes all of a sudden and it can leave all of a sudden as well. But it is a lot of habits. So I was looking up, and a few doctors came together and they kind of gave us top 10 natural ways of treating depression. Wow. Sooyoon actually said a majority of what these doctors said are natural ways to get rid of it. First one is get into a routine. Sooyoon kind of did that. He started getting into a routine. Yeah. Baby steps. Those baby steps include setting goals. Very small. Do the laundry.
Yeah.
Checklist.
Right.
Pat on the shoulder. I did the laundry today.
That's really, actually, it might sound easy, but when you're in depression,
it's just hardest thing to do.
Why do the laundry? I don't care about it.
So why do I have to keep the house clean?
Yeah.
Third, exercise. Endorphins are a big thing, but for someone who doesn't like sports, or like I like sports but doesn't really like exercising, go for a walk. Just going outside of the house, walking to the supermarket and coming back in the sun is going to help. Eating healthy. Now, these doctors are saying there's no magic food for depression, but if you have more fatty foods, the more lazier you feel, like the more relaxed you feel. So eating healthier, fresh fruits, yogurts, that will help. Sleeping, for me, I am going to go against these doctors, but yes, sleep is important, but I feel that too much sleep could be very dangerous as well for someone who's suffering from severe depression. Just like the ones in the beginning, number 6 is to take on responsibilities. So small stuff. Like I said, do the laundry. Take on responsibilities like pick up the mail.
Yeah.
Do something. Go to the grocery store.
Finish one of your homework.
Yeah. Classwork, homework. Start something that you actually have to live up to.
Right.
Challenge your negative thoughts. Now, I think this is one of the biggest steps that you could ever do. But try to find the positive in the negative. So that just little small thing out of the 100 negative thoughts you have. That one small little positive thing.
And when I think another important thing is figuring out that you're being negative.
Oh yes.
In the moment.
Yeah.
Because you forget that you're being negative because it's became a habit.
Yeah.
Habit. So you don't even know that you're being negative. But just realizing that oh shoot, I'm kind of being negative right now. I think that's like the really
biggest step.
Biggest step, yeah.
Don't take any supplements before you talk to a doctor. And the 9th one is to do something new. Yes.
That's true. That's
so
true.
they're saying like push yourself to do something new, like go to a museum. Like you said, you went to amusement parks.
Yeah. right.
Do something different.
Right.
If you don't have a routine, doing something out of the ordinary, something that you're not used to could help.
Yeah.
And at least try to have fun. So I know that Sooyoon at the time he was talking about like going out and drinking and in quote having fun.
Yeah.
But he wasn't really letting himself have fun at the time.
Yeah.
So actually trying to have fun.
Yeah,
so if you're gonna go to the movies, try to laugh.
Right.
Try to enjoy the movie.
And actually, listening to brighter music, brighter movie it helps because back then I used to listen to like dark music and like dark movies. Yeah,
depressing songs.
Right. But I used to enjoy that,
Yeah.
Because I'm depressed, so I'm gonna listen to depressing music, and I was feeling that moment. But after now I see it, I'm just like, why did I do that? I didn't have to push myself deeper to the depression. Yeah.
Exactly. So thank you so much for this. If you need any more help, of course, don't forget to send in another one. We'll try and maybe extend it next time. Going back to Mimi's story, Team A won. So everybody's saying to move on.
Yeah.
Mimi, move on. Lissa is a mama herself, and so I'm going to choose Lissa for today. Being a parent myself, I would love that all 3 of my Rugrats can be more independent and chase their dreams and not think that we're holding them back from what they want to do with their life. There are ups and downs following your dreams, but you will achieve them in the end if you don't give up. I will always be there if they want to come back home. I understand that most parents don't want their children to leave the home, but sooner or later they will have to leave the nest. Talk to your parents, and I'm sure that they will understand. So coming from a mama's perspective, Lissa, we're going to give that to you today.
Awesome.
Our last track for today is going to be Urban Zakapa with Vito. Condolences, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.